Good afternoon, everyone. The Sacramento City Council will please come to order. Would the clerk call the roll, please, and so we can establish a quorum.
Thank you. Councilmember Laloe? Here. Councilmember Harris?
Here.
Councilmember Valenzuela? Here. Councilmember Chenier? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra?
Here.
Councilmember Jennings?
Here.
Councilmember Vang? Here. And Mayor Steinberg.
I am here. Good afternoon, everybody, in this day of transition. And even in the midst of all of the excitement that will take place at 5 o'clock, the business of the city never stops, and we actually have a busy agenda today. So let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and the land acknowledgement, and that's Councilmember Rick Jennings, if you would please lead us. Thank you.
The opening acknowledgement in honor of Sacramento's indigenous people and tribal lands. To the original people of this land, the Nisseon people, the Southern Maidu Valley, the Plains of Miwok, the Patton Winton people, and the people of the Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe, may we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral lands by choosing to gather together today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento's indigenous people's history, contribution, and lives. Thank you. Pledge of allegiance, please. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Members, today is a joint meeting of the Sacramento Housing Authority and of the City Council, and the agendas are sort of put together concurrently. Those of you in the audience who may not know all the intricacies, the Housing Authority is the City Council, and the City Council is the Housing Authority. There are times when we're focused on housing issues relating to the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency that we meet, quote, as the Housing Authority. So, I have had a request to move up the climate item from some folks, and without objection, I'm inclined just to do that because I think we can knock it out relatively quickly. And I've talked to Ms. Dozier, and she graciously agreed to that request. And so maybe if we knock that out, and we promise not to ask her any detailed questions about the climate action plan, then we'll go back to the regular agenda, okay? So let's take, we have Jennifer Venema here, and these are items 31 and 32, but 31 is going to be just a very brief lead-in to 32 taken together, and the full climate action plan update, broader, maybe workshop-wise, we want to leave for the new city council come the month of January. So Ms. Venema, please come on up and let's go to work.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Happy to be here this afternoon. I'm Jennifer Venema, your climate action lead in the Office of Climate Action and Sustainability. And this is our quick quarterly report out on progress. We're laying the foundation for the bigger milestone, which Yvette will speak to shortly for item 32. So to recap this last quarter, since we spoke with Council last about our climate action on August 16th, we've had several big accomplishments. On November 29th, City Council adopted the region's first all-electric ordinance for new construction. Council approved a list of transportation grants and transportation priorities. We're going to talk shortly about the alternate water systems ordinance, which is a big milestone with our partners from labor, and we're putting out money to create jobs and training in climate fields. Lastly, to report back, in August, the City Council requested staff to accelerate release of the adaptation section of the Climate Action and Adaptation Plan, and we have done that. We released it on October 31st. And very quickly, just want to note that tomorrow is the last date for proposals on youth and climate workforce career pathway programs, the city's providing about $1 million of funding available to nonprofits and governmental agencies for these climate career pathways. Because the solicitation is ongoing and we've work to do, we're delaying our update to City Council on clean and green workforce initiatives until early 2023. At that time, we'll come back working together with the Office of Innovation and Economic Development. We'll share about the regional green analysis we've completed for workforce, including a report on the types of projects we're awarding with city funding. Also, we look forward to council support promoting the free air sensor giveaway, which launched yesterday through our partnership with the Air Quality Management District. These monitors are available for free for residents, businesses, and buildings in our high-need, low-income areas. And this was with City Council's investment through the Climate Work Plan. Very briefly, we want to acknowledge that we'll also report back to the new City Council about the existing building electrification strategy. This was a work item directed by the City Council to establish a long-term strategy approach to transition existing buildings. And with that, we've been doing a lot of modeling. We have good news to share on cost benefits available to our residents, and we'll look forward to your help sharing this information to the community early next year. We're also advancing partnerships and happy to report we secured the $350,000 grant that we pursued with SMUD, which will pay for heat pumps in low-income homes. And with that, just to remind you, we have a lot of continued work underway. We'll be releasing the full revised climate action and adaptation plan early next year. As we continue to implement work, we're not waiting for the plan to be adopted. And with that, I transition it now over to Yvette Rincon with the Department of Utilities.
On the dual plumbing issue, yes. Thank you very much. And again, look forward, that was great, even more depth when the new council's on board. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Yvette Rincon. I am the Chief of Staff to the Director of Utilities. Thank you for having me here today. I'd like to start by thanking my colleagues in DOU and CDD, the Office of Climate Action and Sustainability, the Attorney's Office, and Local 447. This past year and a half, we have worked closely together on this effort. Today, we are asking that you approve the CEQA exemption, adopt the Alternate Water Systems Ordinance, and adopt a resolution to study the feasibility and programmatic requirements for a full on-site water reuse program. This work first was initiated in June of 2021 when Mayor and City Council directed staff to evaluate opportunities for the expansion of water conservation standards for buildings as a means of accelerating the just transition of labor that may be impacted by the all-electric new construction ordinance. In June of 2022, staff completed a feasibility study over the course of the last 6 months presented the findings to the Law and Ledge Committee. We recommended an ordinance framework and finally a draft ordinance for their approval. All along the way, staff has consistently engaged Local 447, the Sacramento Builders Exchange, Regional Sanitation, and other builders in the area. From the beginning of this project, all parties agreed that to complete this work over 2 phases. Today, with the proposed ordinance, we officially complete phase 1, and next year we will move on to phase 2. Now I will move on to staff's recommendation. Staff's recommendation is to adopt an ordinance requiring gray water systems for outdoor subsurface irrigation for new commercial buildings of 10,000 square feet or larger. Treatment is not required for gray water reuse for outdoor irrigation. In addition, requires separate additional piping that can be used for reuse of gray water for toilet and urinal flushing in new commercial buildings of 50,000 square feet or larger. This ordinance does not require the installation of treatment systems, just the additional piping. According to the feasibility study we completed, the average cost for additional piping is approximately $2.88 per square foot. This ordinance also includes exemptions for the following buildings: residential, grocery stores and food deserts, childcare facilities, warehouses, and storage facilities, and for additions and improvements to buildings. If you adopt this ordinance today, we recommend an effective date of July 1, 2023. This allows for a 6-month period of outreach and notice to developers of the new requirements. It also allows time for the building division to develop policies and procedures for implementation. Finally, this item includes a resolution that demonstrates staff commitment to Phase 2. In Phase 2, we will further study all the requirements needed to implement a full program. However, to do this work, we need the state to complete its development and adoption of on-site treatment and enforcement regulations. For this reason, the soonest we could begin this work would be the summer of 2023. At the time of our initial study, there was little data available on the costs of treatment and operation and maintenance of on-site systems. However, the data that did exist suggested that these costs could be significant. Therefore, in Phase 2, we'll take the time to further research and model these costs before bringing forward a recommendation on indoor water reuse requirements for commercial buildings. Our plan is to present the Phase 2 study findings and, if warranted, bring proposed ordinance revisions in 2025 for an effective date of 2026. This is in alignment with Phase 2 of the new building electrification ordinance and the effective date of the 2025 building code, California Building Code. This concludes my presentation, and our team is here, happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is really important. Let us hear from the public first, and then the council members. I know I'll have a comment, but I'm happy to go after my colleagues. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 3 speakers, Todd Shivago, then Rob Fong, then Kate Wilkins.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council and staff. I'm here today to express my extreme gratitude for working with 447 and addressing and mitigating the job losses that just the standalone electrification would have presented to the plumbers and pipe fitters. Instead of having a tug of war, we came up with a plan to find common ground and do something that was beneficial, that had provided a just transition for our workers, but also created an opportunity to do something great for the climate that's very responsible because of the water, the drought situation that we're having. So again, I want to thank the council and the staff for working with 447 in partnership on something that turned into a really good ordinance. And in closing, I want to congratulate Councilmember Jay Chenier on his retirement and wish him the best in his retirement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Rob Fong.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Rob Fong with Local 447. I just wanted to really let you know it was important for us to partner with the city on the electrification ordinance. And today you're going to vote on the dual plumbing ordinance, which we're very grateful for the partnership we have with the city. I think it's a great culture if, as the city moves forward, that you can work with your partners in a way that allows everyone to move forward. Through this process, we were able to start to forge a relationship with folks like the Sierra Club, and we're excited about our future with them. And so just thank you very much. You guys are very thoughtful. We appreciate kind of the partnership and the way you kept your word on it, and wanted to let the city staff know that it was a lot of hard work you had to do in a short time. We're very, very grateful to the way you hung in there with us, and I think we're all really happy with the result where we are here. And so thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
And our final speaker is Kate Wilkins.
Hi, Mayor and Council. This is Kate Wilkins, volunteer with 350 Sacramento. First, want to thank Jennifer and the team for the presentation today and the work they've been doing on climate action. And congratulations on this alternate water systems ordinance and your work with UA 447. We support this ordinance at 350 Sacramento. Really excited about it. Wanted to touch briefly on the two major hurdles the city has in facing its climate goals in the next coming years. Number one, there's not enough staff capacity to put together the plans, strategies, ordinances, and reports that this council has directed staff to do in the time that we need it to be done. For starters, the existing building strategy will not be available by the end of this year. The cap is over 2 years late, et cetera. None of this is the fault of staff. There isn't enough people or obviously consultant time to get these things done. The draft cap that was released in summer says the city will need 6 new employees to implement the cap. It's very clear we could use some of this capacity now. So we look forward to seeing funding for these positions in the next year's budget. And then briefly, number two, now that Measure A has been defeated, this is a great opportunity to look at the city's funding needs and how they could be addressed big picture. I think it's an excellent time to hear about the funding options that the city's consultants provided in your draft cap. And I would request that the council agendizes a presentation from those consultants on funding options for the cap in the near future. We don't need to wait until it's adopted sometime in 2023 to start that discussion. So thanks again. Have a nice holiday break. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, I have no more speakers.
Okay, thank you very much to the members of the public. Let's turn it over now to my colleagues. I have Councilmember Valenzuela first. Were you first, Eric? I'm sorry. Councilmember Guerra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I wanted to thank all of those involved from our friends in labor and the business community that sat down to try to look at how we move this forward. And also special thanks here to Jennifer and Yvette for trying to figure out a good policy that moves us forward, also with some speed and some confidence, so that we have a just transition as we're moving in this direction that looks at both the very urgent need to change the direction we're going with on our climate, and also to making sure that we don't leave people behind. Whether it's small businesses, whether it's working families, that we're doing that concurrently. I want to quickly thank you, Jennifer, for mentioning the Clean Air Monitor program. Sacramento now, because of the city's commitment, along with the Air District and the county and some of our local nonprofits, will have the most extensive air quality monitoring system in our country. And that goes because our staff has been committed about how do we address this. And we've been fortunate this year that we haven't been affected by as many fires and smoke in the Sierra counties, and that continues our work with our neighboring counties to do that, but we have our part to do here. And even though we did have some rain this weekend, it isn't enough to address our water issues and our water challenges. And herein lies the main point that we're discussing today, which is the need to look at how we are better efficient with the future planning for our city. And the dual plumbing issue is nothing new. That actually it's been to some industries. I mean, if you're in the restaurant industry, you're already working on that. You have a dual line because of the fats and whatnot. But this allows us to be more effective and efficient with our water usage, and it's going to get tougher. I mean, we've had very difficult last few years, and we're going to have more difficult years ahead. And so with that, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to go ahead and move this item. I'm excited about the future conversation in the new year about our climate action plan and how we actually make an effective commitment of working with this just transition. The last piece I'll say is thank you for including the conversation on pathways and on work. I want to make sure that all of our future conversations are also looking at not only how are we setting standards to be more effective on water efficiency, on our air, on our energy, but what are we doing to making sure that we're part of the workforce strategy and the economic development strategy to meet these goals. Every other city is going to be in this situation. Let's be ahead of that and also be the ones that are exporting the solutions and being the ones that are providing the economic opportunities that are going to improve our environment. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'll move the item.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra. Now, Councilmember Valenzuela.
Thank you, Mayor. I definitely want to start my comments with recognition of 447's leadership on this issue. I mean, you could have just opposed the electrification ordinance and said, no, it's going to hurt our industry. We need these jobs. And instead, you came to the table with a solution that is in my humble opinion, one of the best examples in the state of California of how to do this well. And I don't think we could have done it without you and you pushing us on this issue and you showing up with your technical experts, with your all this knowledge you have from other cities across the state as to how this could work. And so I do want to commend you because it would have been much easier, I think, for you if you all had just said, we're just going to oppose this and forget about it and we are going to fight it. And you might have won in that case, and then we'd still be at square one when we talk about this work. But this is really the best of all worlds because, as my colleague just said, I mean, any climate policy, emissions are obviously the ultimate goal. We want to reduce emissions. We want a sustainable planet. But in the end, doing that has to include everyone in our community, particularly the workers, particularly the people who are most likely to either be left behind or harmed. And so this is really an amazing opportunity for us to set a precedent that I hope does travel statewide. And I think your new friends at Sierra Club will hopefully help make that happen, which will be great. But also hopefully not the end, because when you look at this climate action plan and you look at all the work ahead of us and all the other sectors we need to tackle and the existing buildings and electricity prices and green space and biking, like we have so much work to do. And so I hope this is just the beginning of a lot of great partnership with our trades unions, and really again want to commend and echo the remarks about staff. You did a mountain of work in a very short amount of time because we wanted to make sure this happened when we did the electrification ordinance, and we're off just by a week or two, and that's pretty good considering how much work had to be done to get us here. But I want to commend you for this, and I hope that this is a model now that we can start embedding in all of our work as we move forward, is starting with those who do the work and figuring out how do we work best to ensure that they are growing out of this and that we're all benefiting as we move forward on all of our strategies. So really do want to commend you all. I know this was quite the stretch, and thank you for dealing with our persistent requests to continue to go back and change things and make things different. So happy to second this motion today, and really there's a lot in this report and in the comment from Kate from 350 that I want to talk about, but I do want today to really center on what I consider to be a really momentous moment with this dual plumbing ordinance, and hopefully the beginning of many, many more accomplishments in the near term. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Chenier.
Thank you, Mayor. So what she said. I'm really on board with all of it. Just want to show appreciation both to our staff and to 447. This should be the model of how we work together. I mean, we always talk about those being impacted by a policy, being at the table and helping to develop what the policy looks like. I think there's no better case of this. I know there were some fits and starts as we got going on this, but I'm hoping that the learnings that came out of the partnership and the collaboration will carry forward as we continue to break ground on many of these things. So thanks very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you. So I guess final word, what they said, because I agree with all of it. I just put it in my own way. A big thank you to the staff who worked really, really hard on this, to the Law and Ledge Committee, the entire council, and 447 as well. The way that I would put it is sometimes good politics and good policy go together. And politics, I know, is sort of, maybe a term that isn't used a lot up here, but I think of it as an honorable thing when done well. And in this instance, 447 could have, based upon a narrow definition of their self-interest, oppose the electrification ordinance, because in the short term, it might in fact cause some disruption. But they chose a different and a better tack, which is good politics and good policy, and that is, they said, we believe it's important as leaders to support the climate imperative. And would you work with us to ensure that our workers, working men and women of our community, continue to get work in the construction field, in the plumbing field? And thus we were off to this discussion that led to this alternative, which, by the way, is good environmental policy as well, because it's water conservation. So this, I agree with you, Jay, this one ought to be upheld as a real model. And I'm grateful, and I'm going to talk about it throughout the entire community, because politics is not a dirty word. If it's good politics and good policy can go together, and this is a great example of it. Let's call the roll, please.
Councilmember Laloie?
What?
Aye.
Councilmember Harris?
Aye.
Councilmember Valenzuela?
Yes.
Councilmember Chenier?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra?
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings?
Yes.
Councilmember Vang?
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Yes. All right. Thank you. That passes. Good work, everybody. Jennifer Venema, thank you for spearheading this, and thank you to Michelle Dozier for forbearance and patience here as we skipped around the agenda. Let's go back now. I don't know whether we have to formally convene the Housing Authority separately, but okay, so we are now meeting as the Housing Authority, and let's go back to the public hearings and begin with item 1. Jeannie Niguez.
All right. Good afternoon, Celia Iniguez, Program Manager with SHRA. I'm very pleased to be here and presenting this item. It is a request for approval of a disposition and development agreement and a conditional grant agreement and related documents for 10 Housing Authority vacant lots with Habitat for Humanity. For a bit of background, these vacant lots are, as I said, owned by the Housing Authority and located in Oak Park, in both focused in the North Oak Park, but there's also lots in Central and South Oak Park. A request for proposals was issued on April 1st, 2022, seeking a developer to construct new single-family homes to increase the supply of affordable housing in the neighborhood. And although Habitat for Humanity of Greater Sacramento was the only proposal, they are the excellent fit for the community. Habitat, as many of you know, has a long history of developing affordable housing and partnerships with municipalities here in Sacramento and in Yolo counties. They produce affordable, high-quality, affordable housing. As a nonprofit self-help housing organization, they are dedicated to constructing affordable home ownership housing and they have developed more than 225 single-family homes in Sacramento. A summary of the development proposal on the 10 vacant lots. This will, in the end, there will be 8 4-bedroom, 2-story homes and 2 3-bedroom homes. 2 3-bedroom, 1-story homes. The development will happen over a total of 28 months in 2 phases. The first phase will be completed in 16 and the second in 14 with a 2-month overlap. These homes will be made available to families who with limit to the maximum of 80% of, area median income. The $2.9 million project includes funding from the Housing Authority of $1 million, former redevelopment funds of about $500,000, and Habitat will be requesting and applying for funds, Cal Home funds of $500,000. And the remaining, a little over $940,000, will be through fundraising efforts of Habitat for Humanity. Let's see, I think we have representatives from Habitat for Humanity if you have any questions, but that concludes my presentation. I'm very excited to get this project moving.
This is terrific. But we do have some leaders and members of Habitat for Humanity here. I don't know if they're signed up publicly, but we'd be happy, since this is Habitat sponsored, to have a representative group of you come on up, and if you could designate a representative or okay, I didn't know. 2. Go ahead. I thought there were a larger group. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, Lachelle, and staff. I'm here. My name is Ann Gambino. This is Michael Gordon. He's the Director of Construction, and I'm wearer of many hats. We're here on behalf of Leah Miller and want to express our sincere gratitude for this opportunity to build 10 homes in Sacramento. With your support and SHRA's support. It is a very unique and unprecedented opportunity to partner. Habitat has received numerous lots from SHRA in the past, but these 10 lots and the amount of funding that we're actually receiving from SHRA in the city are beyond. And we're incredibly excited to get started and incredibly thankful to the mayor, to the city council, and to SHRA, particularly Christine and Celia. Thank you for the work you did behind the scenes. And Daryl, thank you for leading the council. And Jay, congratulations on your upcoming retirement, but also thank you, and Danielle, for being a cheerleader on behalf of Habitat for this project. Thank you very much. And of course, if you have any,
No, I'm good.
if you have any questions, we're happy to answer.
Well, thank you for championing so much opportunity for people.
Our pleasure.
Do we have other public testimony? I'm sorry?
Just Annie.
Okay, very
that
good.
it?
Then we will turn it over.
Thank you
You're
again.
good, unless there are difficult and challenging questions upcoming from the
We'll
council.
stand by.
Here we go. Okay, let's turn it to the members and start with another legacy item for Mr. Chenier here, and Councilmember Guerra, but Councilmember Chenier, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually cannot think of a better going away present than getting these lots done. I want to thank Lachelle and SHRA. This was a long time in the making and through various iterations of ownership and building. But ultimately, I think having 8 four-bedroom houses and 2 3-bedroom houses, what an accomplishment, what a great thing to happen in the neighborhood as we think about how do we keep folks in the neighborhood, how do we provide the resources that they need to be successful. You know, some of this money that we're able to put in, actually, the story here is that it was slated to straighten out the driveway at the Oak Park Community Center. 10 homes, straighten out the driveway. How do we want to spend that money? And we've been sitting on it for a while, and I think it's just a really good use of it. This is good for Habitat, which is just a fabulous partner. It's good for the community, and it will certainly be a wonderful thing for those 10 families that move in. I am looking forward to getting the call and swinging a hammer on this. I'm going to borrow Mr. Harris's tool belt if he'll let me use it for this. But just excited about it overall and happy to move the item. Open and close the public hearing and move the item.
Thank you. Councilmember Guerra? Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and let's take care of the business out of the way, and I'd be proud to second the item here in the public hearing. First, I want to, thank, all of our SHRA staff's involvement in this here. Appreciate your work. But most importantly, I want to also thank Habitat. This is an unprecedented partnership between the city. I mean, a very significant one. I'm proud to have worked with Habitat on Mandalay Court, and I thank you for that. The 13 homes that we just completed there, I think is, a commitment of how Habitat has been focusing on how do we help not only provide so much needed housing for families, but also looking at how are we improving some of our neighborhoods that have had a lot of challenges and increasing the quality of the housing and improving in those areas. The fact that even in the design standards in some of these homes are, for example, the Mandalay Courts, I know we're 100% all electric as well, and looking at them for what does a home for the future look like, I think is imperative. For those of us who have been working a lot on affordable housing, the fact that you can get 4-bedroom homes here for some of our larger families. I mean, there's not a lot of options for families out there. Sometimes there's 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom affordable housing. This is really helping a huge effort to making sure that we have a place for families where they can have a productive place for their kids. And most importantly, 500 hours of sweat equity. Everyone involved in this project, and what I love about Habitat is that level of community that it does and it's brought in as well. So I just wanted to, again, just thank again Habitat for its work here. And, I'm in the adjacent district, but just seeing what's happening in the south area of South Sacramento and what commitment Habitat has done for that is going a long way in changing the overall community. And I just want to say how engaged the community has been, that when someone tried to break into one of the Habitat homes, the neighbors all said no. They wanted to make sure that they protected the products out, their equipment and material. And so I want to thank you again, and Mr. Mayor, prior to second this item.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Harris.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thank you to Habitat also. You're a great partner, and the work you do is really phenomenal. I've watched your projects go on for many years, and who knows, maybe I will be able to drag out my hammer and help you with these. I'd be happy to, so tell Leah. Anyway, thanks to SHRA, Celia, and Christine and Lachelle. This is a good use of city property. It really is, and I'm proud that it's gone this way.
Very good. Well, congratulations. Thank you, SHRA. Always, Councilmember Chenier, great work. And Habitat, I mean, every time I go to one of your door opening events, it's just magnificent and moving. And wish we could clone you everywhere.
Oh, wait, I will say, we are. We definitely are. I mean, we also put $500,000 into Rock the Block in Oak Park, so that will enable, I believe, Rock the Block fixing up homes for people to go year-round. So I think the partnership with Habitat and the city is really remarkable, and I hope will just continue to grow. I mean, putting a 4-bedroom house on the market or having it go to someone for $300,000 mortgage, you can't beat it. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Very good. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain, that passes unanimously. Thank you. Again. Here's the cheer. Okay, the next item, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Tracy Knighton. I'm the agency's Human Resource Program Manager. The staff report that I'm presenting to you today is a report that recommends that the City Council and Housing Authority of the City of Sacramento authorize the agency to approve an amendment to the PERS contract between the agency and the Board of Administration of the Public Employee Retirement System. The amendment includes providing contract exclusion and partial service retirement. CalPERS completed a public agency review of the Sacramento City Housing Authority in March of 2021 in regard to how the agency interpreted which type of employees were excluded from CalPERS membership. Based on the review, PERS recommended, and the agency agrees, to amend its contract with PERS to properly designate which classification can be excluded from membership in the PERS retirement system. Currently, temporary employees are listed as excluded from CalPERS membership. If these temporary employees exceed 1,000 hours of service, they must become members, so they cannot be excluded from membership. The only classification of employees that can be excluded from membership are student interns. In addition, the agency would like to add a partial service retirement option to those who meet the normal retirement age and service requirements. This change will enable the member to be able to reduce work time, continue working, and receive a partial service retirement allowance with partial service retirement. A phased retirement program will assist the agency with knowledge management and continuity of operations in the short term, but also prepare the next generation of experts for success. The resolution of intention give the required 20-day public notice to authorize the agency to amend the retirement contract. The final resolution of approval are scheduled to be submitted for approval on January 10th, 2023. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available to answer any questions that you may have.
All righty. Thank you so much. Is there public testimony on the item?
I have no speaker slips or hands raised for this item.
Okay. Please take a motion in a second. I'll move it. Mayor Pro Tem, did you want to say something? Okay. Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
An easy one. Thank you. The next item, the emergency bridge housing at the Grove in the Meadowview Navigation Center. Housing hundreds of people.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the Council. My name is Sarah O'Daniel, and I'm with the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency. On October the 13th, a staff report was brought forward to you informing you that both the Emergency Bridge Housing at the Grove, or EBH for short, and the Meadowview Navigation Center had completed 2 years of operations. EBH completed 2 years 7 months ago on May 31st, and Meadowview completed 2 years on September the 30th. We also reported that both shelters had used their cost savings to continue operations and needed funds immediately to provide seamless services to our homeless guests. On that day, you approved the allocation of $2.2 million of federal funds to continue and expand EBH from 24 to 50 transitional age youth, or TAY, who live in the tiny home community. In addition, at the Meadowview Center, which houses 100 homeless women in a sprung shelter, approximately $280,000 was allocated to continue operations through this month until the State Homeless Housing Assistance and Prevention Funds, or HAP for short, came through. On November 3rd of this year, Governor Newsom caused panic among jurisdictions up and down the state when he halted. My heart started beating a little faster that day. And this was up and down the state, of course, when he halted the disbursement of the HAP funds until he met with local leaders, including Mayor Steinberg and others, to stress the accountability and requiring better outcomes from all jurisdictions with the use of the state funds. And then he agreed to release the funds. To date, the city has received the state contract and has returned it to them signed and are still awaiting the funds. The funds are anticipated to be received shortly. However, as it is critical for us to continue operations without any interruptions to our guests, staff recommends moving forward to reallocate some of the funds that were allocated on October 13th. Specifically, staff recommends $800,000 of Emergency Solutions Grant, or ESG funds, to be reallocated from EBH to Meadowview, allowing both shelters to operate seamlessly for the next few months. The $800,000 reallocated from EBH will be backfilled with state HAP funds when they are received and does not impact operations at the site. Once the federal funds are utilized, staff will utilize the state funds, HAP funds, which will be received by then, to operate the shelters for an additional 12 months. Just as a quick update on both shelters, at EBH, we have already doubled the number of guests from 24 to 50 homeless transitional age youth that have been taken off the streets. And of course, just to mention, both sites have robust case management, assistance with seeking employment, meals, showers, laundry services, etc. Meadowview, unfortunately, has an outbreak of COVID-19 right now, is currently under lockdown, but it is set to open back up later this month. And currently, there are 86 women at the site. Once lockdown is removed, staff will ramp up and reach full capacity again. Just to mention also, we have weekly and monthly reports on both the shelters on our website, and they can be found at www.shra.org under the Find Housing tab. And this concludes my presentation. Be glad to take any questions you may have.
Thank you for good work and really good work in keeping these life and death places open as best as you can, because I know it has not been a sort of traditional historic function of the agency, but you've taken this on and done it really well, and I want to say thank you. So any members of the public?
I just have one, Daniel Adderhoff.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm here today on several reasons on this one and item 4. What I'm here for is to know about what's going to happen to the people that are having COVID in these shelters that are not being attended to. I found out several people are having COVID and not being attended at all. As a matter of fact, they're not even being separated from people in the public in these shelters at all. For example, the VOA over on 5th Street, they have COVID. Several people there have COVID, not one thing is being, they're not separating, they're not taking measures to protect the people. They're saying, oh, well, they had vaccination shots, oh, well. 3 ladies from Meadowview, or I think it was Meadowview, or one or two, that contacted me saying that they have COVID and they want to know if there's any outreach that could help them because they don't want to get anybody else sick. I don't know if they responded to you guys or not. I don't know if SHR or anything. I don't know. But also, what about the homeless pets? Me and my American Homes Crew have been taking care of a lot of these homeless people's pets that are in these shelters because they don't allow pets. And that's an outcry because homeless pets and homeless go hand in hand together. I stated this over and over again in the board supervisor meetings, and this is my first time being here in a while. I'm seeing a lot of these new faces here. Nice to meet you guys. But what I'm getting at right now, though, is the homeless pets. They're the ones that are being the true victims out of this. They're the ones that are not being taken care of. Me and my wife and everybody out there is trying our best to help these homeless pets. A lot of these shelters are dropping the ball helping these animals out here, which we'll be addressing later on today. What I'm getting at, though, is where is this thing about the homeless pets? What are you guys going to do about the homeless pets and having them with their owners? Because we can't take care of all of these people's pets that are in these shelters. And because you guys don't allow pets in shelters, what's going on? So I would like to know. Thank you.
All right, I have no more speakers.
Okay, let's hear from the members. I know I have a question about Mr. Adderholt's.
At both the X Street Navigation Center and Meadowview, we have kennels there.
Yeah, we do.
And do take pets in.
I have a question about the COVID issue. Maybe I can ask that now. And this is a really hard one, but I just want to be consistent because I know that I made a very strong case and a lot of controversy that all our city employees ought to be vaccinated. Remember that a year plus ago? Well, I understand that it may be that a lot of the people who are living in our shelters are choosing not to be vaccinated. And is that true? And if so, I know it's uncomfortable, but is that a problem? It's a problem. I say it's a problem. I mean, especially if we're having to shut down the shelters and, you know, others who are vaccinated have to leave or, you know, have more disruption in their lives than they already have. So is that the case, Sarah?
So there is no mandate
I
that
get that.
the guests have to be vaccinated. However, what I can say is that the guests are being tested twice a week. And so that way, you know, you're finding out if they do have COVID, then they are isolated right away.
I appreciate your answer, but that's not my question. I'm sorry. No, you're trying to protect the people, and I respect that completely. I'm
But
gonna
it is
ask-
not mandated, right?
Yeah, I know it's not mandated, but do we know that a number of people living in these shelters are are choosing not to get vaccinated? Is that
Yes, that is
okay?
true.
I got a problem with that. Maybe others do or don't. I don't know. I have a problem with that. We made a huge issue with our city employees here, and again, it's people are already so vulnerable. I'm not picking on anybody, but it's the impact on their residents within the shelters, right? Because they have to leave too. And Lachelle was just telling me, Ms. Dozier was just telling me, you know, SHRA is making sure nobody gets homeless, right? But it's more motel vouchers, which are already oversubscribed. It's, you know, we've got limited number of pallet homes. I don't know. Hate to raise a can of worms here, but it's troubling to me. Others? Councilmember Vang?
Thanks, Mayor. Sarah, thank you so much for your presentation. I think the mayor just asked the question that I asked. Just wanted to get some clarity on protocol regarding COVID. So appreciate that the testing is happening when someone does have COVID, the isolation does occur. So really appreciate the due diligence on that. I too also, I think would echo the mayor and figuring out what we can do in terms of vaccination. As my staff will share, you know, it's not as simple as choice. I think making sure to also provide that education as well to let them know that it's really important to make sure they get vaccinated in terms of protection. And so perhaps we need to do some intense outreach as well regarding vaccination. So definitely want to make sure maybe we can follow up. Mayor is having a conversation with Lachelle right now. I know he's concerned about the vaccination, but I think, you know, Mayor, I share the same concern as you, and perhaps we can figure out what a potential solution could look like. I think being a little bit more intense on the outreach, on the education, on the vaccination. I know there are some hesitation, but I would say that they're just not vaccine ready, and I wouldn't say that they wouldn't say no completely. I think it's a matter of making sure that we get them up to speed on that. But Sarah, I do want to say thank you so much for your presentation, and wanted to take this time to thank Lachelle and all of our SHRA staff, VOA, really just for the diligent work and service that you are providing to our community in the South area. You know, the Meadowview Navigation Center is just one part of our critical work in our entire system to address homelessness. I also wanted just to point out, because I know we had a public speaker that talked about making sure that we address the pet issue. I know at the Meadowview Navigation Center, we do allow pets as well. But I really appreciate this item because I know that right now we simply do not have enough beds to serve individuals that are experiencing homelessness. Mayor, as you mentioned earlier, these shelters are really important because it's a life and death matter, and we know that the longer folks are living on the street, the shorter their lifespan. And so it's incredibly important to make sure that we continue to provide shelter for our unhoused neighbors. This shelter in particular was open right before I came in as councilwoman, and I am proud of the work that has been done there. You know, to date, we have been able to house 184 women. I think that's something to celebrate. It's important to make sure to shine light on our wins, right? So want to acknowledge that. And really just want to thank all the staff that works there day in and day out to make sure that the women at the shelter truly can have a sense of community there. I know this funding, Mayor, will only allow for operations until May 2023, and so we're going to have to figure out if we're going to continue the service. Is that accurate?
The current federal funds that we have will take us through May. However, then we will be utilizing the state HAP funds.
I see.
So that will continue the operations for an additional 12 months.
Thanks, Sarah, for that clarification. Appreciate that. And then lastly, I just wanted to take this moment just to say thank you for the transparency piece as well. I know that you all provide monthly and weekly reports to the community at large, and really just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you for doing that. So with that, Mayor, I'll move this item.
Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Vang. Councilmember Laloe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. A quick question. So the folks at Meadowview, considering it's a shutdown, are they all inside or have they been evacuated? What's the setting there right now?
No, the women that are there can continue to stay there, or if they voluntarily wanted to leave, they can. But no, they're allowed to shelter in place.
Okay.
And
then
those
also,
that have COVID are isolated.
Mr. Mayor, on the vaccine side of it, I think by now it's been proven that whether you're vaccinated or not, you can catch the virus and you can pass the virus on. So I would hate to force something on this vulnerable group where they say no, and then now they have to pack their stuff and walk out of the shelter. I mean, I'm just kind of floating there. I'm not arguing. You're absolutely correct, but I just hate to, because the science is saying whether you're vaccinated or not, you can catch COVID and pass COVID at an equal amount. Is that something that we want to force on this vulnerable group, where if they don't want to take it, now they'll leave the shelter and now they're living out on the street? It's just a question.
No, you know what? You are absolutely right. It's a catch-22 here, right? And it's a really difficult situation because, as again, Ms. Dozier and I are whispering a little bit, we already know there are significant barriers for people to want to come indoors, but at the same time, we just voted on a historic partnership agreement with the county where we said that we're going to use all voluntary means to help get people into shelter. And in the end, if they won't come, we're asking the county to use Laura's Law and the other involuntary tools they have, because people should not be living on the streets. And so this is, I don't know, we're torn on this, and maybe what we ought to do in January is think about this, get some more data, because what I know is anecdotal, but get some more data and come back and have a policy discussion about this in a way that leads with compassion for the people, obviously, but also compassion for the people who are vaccinated, because, yeah, you can still get COVID if you're vaccinated, but you're less likely to get it, and you're less likely to get really sick. And so we know the efficacy of vaccination, and we've been consistent on that. So, okay, very good. Okay, do we have a motion and a second?
We don't have a second.
A second. A second by Mayor Pro Tem Guerra. Let's call all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain.
Just a quick note, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Vang, just FYI, this is working together, so I'm lending you money, so when the time comes, remember the time.
I think it's in both of our district, Councilmember Lololi. It's for,
Well, I'm actually lending you my money, and I'm not charging you any interest on that either,
it's
so.
the community's money.
Exactly, my community, so.
Thank you, Councilmember Laloy, and thank you, Councilmember Vang. Madam Clerk, we'll move on to the next item.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Item 4 is City Council approval of middle-income housing bond policy.
Good afternoon. Council is Christine Weicker with SHRA. The item before you, the Middle Income Housing Bond Policy, includes goals, application process, and underwriting criteria. This will allow the city to become a member of a Joint Powers Agency, or JPA, which can issue tax-exempt bonds to finance multifamily developments affordable to households earning 80 to 120% of area median income. Although this financing approach has been used in California since 2019, there are limited regulations, and adoption of the policy will help ensure the public benefit of the bonds, assess future requirements, and provide inclusive approach and support middle-income housing. A draft policy was brought before the City Council for review on October 11th. At the meeting, Council expressed support for the policy and directed SHRA staff to bring it back for approval. Since October, SHRA staff has met with the California Municipal Finance Agency, a bond issuer, bond counsel, and a bond purchaser regarding the policy. All three entities indicated that projects must have an agreement to regulate rent recorded on title, but that the agreement is not monitored by a third party, such as SHRA, which is typical for bond-funded projects. They indicated that SHRA would negotiate, or could negotiate, an additional regulatory agreement related to SHRA's monitoring of rents, income, and property conditions. However, all three entities caution that investors may be hesitant to be involved with projects with additional monitoring requirements, so the agreements would need to be negotiated on a project-by-project basis. SHRA will administer the policy, review applicants, and present funding requirements and agreements to City Council for approval. And although the administration of the policy would be designated to SHRA, the city manager will be required to execute the JPA agreements. The policy requires that additional annual reports be submitted to SHRA by developers, and these will help SHRA to administer and determine if the project continues to meet all requirements. In conclusion, staff recommends approval of the middle income housing bond policy. It is available for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Weicker. Madam Clerk, do we have members of the public signed up to speak?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I have one, Daniel Adderhoff.
Mr. Adderhoff.
I wish the mayor was still up here because I like to applaud him on this, what he said after I left the podium here. I agree with him. It's about security. It's about the safety of the people of the housed inside shelters. There should be a mandatory shot required to be there. Because even if you do get the virus after you have the shot, it's less deadly on you and you recover a lot easier. So I think it should be very important for people to have the shot. Also, I want to applaud the Shell. I haven't seen you in a while, and I want to say, you surprised me being up there. I want to say that welcome to see you there. Thank you for helping the homeless out here, wanting to help the homeless. Middle-class housing is critical right now. It's downright critical right now, and SHRA is critical for helping the homeless right now. Right now, the housing situation is exploding. The homes, there is 196 homes right now available, though, in Sacramento. I don't know if you guys have been aware of this, but I have showed it Sacramento County Board of Supervisors for affordable housing. There's 196 homes here in Sacramento, which could help a lot of people off the streets, but there is no emergency housing vouchers for them to be off the streets. Me and Michelle had this talk a while back ago. And they're still available, amazingly. I just recently checked, they're still available, and that could be a lot of people off the streets if there's an emergency housing voucher available. And they allow pets, which is critical, because pets and the homeless go hand in hand. Most of the homeless have 3 to 4 dogs, averaging. And the law in Sacramento says 4 animals. You're allowed to have 4 animals, so why should we separate different for the homeless because they're homeless? To me, that's discrimination. And K-Van as well, I see you. We had this talk online. Right now, there's a lot of things going on, but like I said earlier, the homeless pets are a true victim of all this, along with the homeless out here, because like I said, they go hand in hand, but the homeless are getting to a shelter, but what about the dog? What about their pets? What's going to happen to them? You know, you're separating them from their family, homeless from the family. They've been through enough already. There should be, Jeff Harris, there should be homes available that have affordable housing for homeless that have pets, you know. they
Thank you
have
for your
pets
comments.
there.
Your time is complete.
What
I
I'm getting at
apologize
is
it
we
wasn't on
all-
screen, but
we all
thank
need to
you.
help each other and get that help they need for the homeless. You gotta keep the.
Thank you
get
for your
homes
comments. Your
available.
time
Thank
is
you.
complete.
Thank you, Mr. Adderhoff. Appreciate that. Madam Clerk?
I have no more speakers.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let me go to Board Member, Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Christine, for that presentation. I want to appreciate all of the work you've done since the last time you were here and all the meetings that you've held. And, you know, this all stemmed out of several opportunities that kind of came to us pretty unexpectedly. It was a new way of doing things, and we didn't have a system in place to vet and figure out whether or not we should move forward. So I'm really excited to move this item today because I do think it's going to keep us ready for this specific type of opportunity. But as was just mentioned by a public commenter, I don't think there's enough we can do on middle income housing right now. And so any tool that might help us is worth exploring. So thank you for all the work you did on this, and I'm happy to move this item.
Very good. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Thank you very much. I'm going to second the item. Again, thank you, Christine. I know, again, we started off on this a little on the rocky side, but I think where we're going is a very positive way. And yes, we obviously have no question that more permanent supportive housing, more extremely low-income housing, more affordable housing. But if we're not hitting the area of the middle class, working class, workforce housing, we're going to start to see that continued pressure moving forward. And every option, I think, gives us different tools. I mean, it might we have different folks who say this fits their ability to deliver a project better, and I think we got to be flexible in that. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and look forward to working on this as it moves forward.
That's excellent. Yeah, this is another example of innovation, and we need more of it given the shortage. And thank you for working to see this through. Let's just make a couple of these projects happen if we can, please. All right. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstain. Excellent. Okay. Is that it? That is the Housing Authority meeting. So thank you, Director Dozier and your team for great work. And we will now move into back into the City Council session itself. And let's go back to let's start with the special presentations and start with Councilmember Valenzuela.
Thank you, Mayor. It is my great honor tonight to be recognizing a retiring city staff person, Bridget Dean. You know, it's hard enough to create change within a system, but I think we can all agree that it's even harder to try to create a whole new system within a system. And a little while ago, the mayor had this crazy idea to try to create this whole new department in the city.
No regrets.
to accept calls that didn't require law enforcement engagement. But I can say now that I don't think the city could have picked out anybody better to lead this new department than Bridget Dean. In the short time since it's existed, DCR has responded to thousands of calls for service, has moved mountains in building relationships with local service providers and experts, and brought in some of the brightest and most passionate staff that we could have hoped for, many of whom are here in the audience today. And I think that is a true testament to the woman that we are honoring here tonight. I have found this department under Bridget's leadership to be compassionate, committed, hardworking, and truly, truly passionate for helping those who are on the street. And this doesn't mean that it hasn't been bumpy, and many of the communities still have a lot of misunderstandings about what you do and don't do. I have never once doubted the intent of this team and how hard you have worked in your goal and your passion for ensuring those on the street and those impacted by homelessness get the help that they need. When I thought of crazy ideas like starting the first city-run safe camping ideas, Bridget and her team were right there with me. Did not hesitate before diving straight in to figure out something that we had never done before. And when we've struggled with building trust with unhoused people, I saw her teams and their partners go out again and again and again to understand the issues, to really figure out solutions that were going to work best for the people who were impacted. As one example of this, I actually went out with for the point in time count in the River District at 10 o'clock at night with Bridget's team, and was pleasantly surprised that every single encampment we walked up to, they were on a first name basis, every single one. And that shows not just the time and dedication, but also truly the passion and authenticity that she has cultivated and given space for with the teams and contractors that she works with. And while we still have a far way to go in getting the amount of shelter or housing we need to move everybody off the street, a milestone we all strive for, and with the recent partnership agreement, or hopefully one step closer to getting towards, Bridget's teams and their partners have built the expertise and relationships to help us figure out how to best manage this crisis until that goal is achieved. In the end, I think I can say all I want as an elected official, but I think some of the best words actually came from her team themselves. One of her staff said that throughout her career, she has never settled for the status quo, constantly pushing the boundaries and expanding resources and opportunities for the most disenfranchised people in the communities in which she served. She has also empowered countless new leaders, leaving behind a coaching tree that rivals the best of the best. You will be missed, Bridget, not just because of your lived experience, your clear passion, your expertise, training, and how you work, but also just because of who you were and how great it was to work with you and work with your team that you were able to build in your short time in this role. So you will be missed. It will be hard shoes to fill, but we will do our best because we have a lot of work to do. But in the end, I want to say that we are committed to continuing to build on the best practices that you and your team have established in these short couple of years. And I'm very confident that if we do that, that we will really find a path forward here that works best for everybody. So thank you, Mayor. I will defer to any of my colleagues who'd like to speak, but I definitely want to make sure we get a picture with her
We
and
will
her
get a
team here
picture, and
before
I really appreciate you taking the lead on this, Councilmember Valenzuela. And I'd just like to add briefly, it's never easy being the first out of the gate. It never is easy, because when you create something that no one has tried before, it comes with a lot of stops and starts and high expectations. And I will forever be grateful to you, Bridget, for your unflinching willingness to step into this role and to help put this together with Howard and with Chris Conlon previously, and Mario, and the entire team here. Because it was a team effort, but it took somebody who is a true believer in the mission, and that is we can do better by the people suffering the most among us, and thus do better by our city. And so you should be proud of what you started, and you'll always be engaged and involved, but to watch this take off to wherever it goes, especially in light of this new partnership agreement. And by the way, your department and your work is a precursor, a necessary precursor to that partnership agreement. The city is very grateful to you, and I am personally. Thank you. Others, Councilman Chenier.
Yeah, just really briefly, thank you for all your work. We had lots of conversations, mostly me venting, which I appreciate. Mostly me venting about Broadway and 99. But I appreciate it. As the mayor said, it's hard to be the first, and it's hard to create something because we know it's going to take iterations to get it right. But the work is so important, and you never hesitated. So appreciate all of that.
Beautiful. Councilman Harris?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, Bridget, we've worked together for quite a while, and I think maybe the most significant thing we did was start the Shore Center, which has evolved into the CRIB, the Crisis Receiving Behavioral Health Center, which has become central to the agreement between the city and the county. You really have done great work. You've been such a wonderful friend and collaborator. I'm going to miss you terribly. I know that Nick is staying on, and that gives me great hope for DCR, but really we'll miss you, and I hope that we can continue to speak, after we're both gone. All right, thanks.
Very good. Now we have Councilmember Rick Jennings. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for all that you did to make this city a better place. I don't ever remember a time of calling you that you did not pick up the phone. I don't ever remember a time that you did not have a strategy or a solution to a problem that we were dealing with. I never remembered a time that you had a bad attitude or that you were not a willing partner in working with us. And so everything that I know about you means that you're a great teammate. And while I'm sorry to lose you as a teammate in this work, I know that we're going to be friends forever. And I promise you that I'll hold up my end of the commitment on that. I just want to thank you for the incredible job, the incredible body of work that you did to put us in the position of where we are today. And while we are sorry to lose you, we never want to lose our relationship with you. So the best of luck. I'm a phone call away. And as they say, whenever you call me, I'll be there.
Do you want to add, just call my name?
Yeah, well, you know. Come on, you want me to sing it, man?
Come on. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
I'll avoid the singing, Mr. Mayor. Bridget, just want to say congratulations, and I think, and it's clearly why we are here with the city-county strategy is because many, at least in my council district, many of the situations that you had to encounter were on situations where the city and the county were bordering basically on a sidewalk and figuring out how to work together and leading us to that place. The solution to where we are today is from that on-the-ground experience and how we can best resolve that. So I just want to say thank you. You should take great pride in where we're at now because of your work in that effort. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Bridget, Councilmember Vang, please.
Yes,
Please,
I think
please,
everyone's going to need to speak on this because Bridget is amazing. You know, Bridget, it's been such an honor to work with you because we're not new council members anymore because there's new council members that are going to come in, but I still feel like a new council member. But Bridget, it's been such an honor to work with you for the past 2 years, just with you and your team. You know, you have truly set the foundation for best practices of how to address homelessness in any jurisdiction. Similarly, with Councilmember Chenair, I remember being on calls with you, strategies calls, venting calls, right? Because homelessness is such an incredibly complex issue. And you have really been able to help guide me as a young elected, my team, really through the system. And also letting me know the gaps in our system, right? And what we need to do even as policymakers to make sure that we address those gaps. I'm so appreciative of you and your entire team. Even I see Ben out there as well. We worked very closely regarding the large Southeast Asian encampment in District 8 and wouldn't have been able to do that without your leadership, the culture that you've created to ensure that staff is really responsive in a way that that has cultural humility, right, to our in-house community. And so I think a big part of that is really the leaders that are leading the department, and that was you. And so really we're gonna miss you a lot, but we have your number, so we know how to contact you when there are more, and the issues are gonna keep coming, right? And you're an expert in this field, and so just thank you so much for your heart and your hustle and your service to the city of Sacramento, and just congratulations on your retirement.
So Mayor, before we do the photo, I'm hoping that Bridget, if she wants to say anything.
Yes.
She's hiding there in the middle of it.
Take more than 2 minutes.
I'll try to be precise. So first off, I want to say thank you to all of you. This has been a labor of love, even though, to the mayor's point, it's been bumpy at times. I want to thank you, Mayor, for giving me this amazing opportunity to take a career of almost 30 years and culminate my social work and various backgrounds to this point to really make a difference in this city. But I could not have done that without the support of you and council, and especially this amazing team behind me. This group of folks step up, they show up every day, and they do the work every day, no matter what is said to them, what the political climate or other climate is, and they do it with grace and dignity to really make a difference for folks out there and those of us who aren't housed and don't have all the access we need to be successful. So my hope is that I know you will all continue the work, but my hope is that we continue the work together. I will be a very active D5 resident, and I'm sure you'll see me sitting in these seats occasionally, and I'll get my 2 minutes. But you do all have my number. Please reach out. I will be here for this city. I believe it has to be the best place ever. I've shared before. I've got 2 amazing grandsons who are going to grow up here. And I won't settle for less than excellent. So thank you for all the work you do every day and showing up, and I appreciate it.
Come on.
you want. They've got a lot of staff here, though. We might not have.
Why don't we, okay, Katie? Either way, okay, you and I will go down. We'll go down. Okay, Jeff.
We'll stay up here and that way there.
Calendar's crazy. That's not good. Come on, everybody.
Do you want one of just you guys and then the rest of the team, or do you want to do it all? All right.
Sorry, go ahead and get in there. We need some more on this side. Yeah, we need on this side. Can you guys shuffle this way? We got more coming in. Okay. Come on. You guys go to that side, okay? Go to the right. All right. Push. All right, on Tim. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And one more for me. 1, 2, 3. Go. All right. Sorry. Huh?
That was nice.
That was great. Great job. Okay, members, we do have one more important resolution today presented by a council member Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the pleasure of presenting the resolution recognizing the Afghan Adjustment Act and U.S. allies. To receive it today, on behalf of Zahal Bahaduri, co-founder and executive director of the Five Pillars organization, and former Assemblymember Roger Dickinson, is Marcus Tang from the Fuel Network, the Family Unity and Education and Legal Network. Unfortunately, the bug is going around here, but on their behalf, Marcus is going to be here to accept this resolution. Marcus, if you don't mind coming up to the podium. And I do have a statement here to read on behalf of Zahal Bahaduri and Roger Dickinson here on this act here. The Five Pillars is an Afghan-American-led organization that aids in the resettlement of refugees in Northern California. Since its founding in August 2021 in response to the Kabul evacuation, we've provided support and rapid response aid to over 800 Afghan newcomers. The U.S. evacuation nearly 76,000 Afghans in August of 2021, the largest evacuation since the Vietnam War. California has welcomed at least 8,300 Afghan allies, and Sacramento County has the largest Afghan refugee population in the U.S. Mayor Steinberg said himself that he expected more than 5,000 refugees to relocate to Sacramento and its surrounding communities in 2022. Our Afghan allies are here in America, and they are building a new home, but they are here on parolee status, which is temporary, and they need a permanent pathway to lawful permanent residency. We have a solution to this crisis today, and it's called the Afghan Adjustment Act, a bipartisan bill introduced in Congress that would provide a pathway to permanent residency for Afghans. If Congress doesn't enact the Afghan Adjustment Act, thousands of Afghans could lose their ability to work, access health care, and lose their legal right to live here. This is the moment to stand up for our allies as they stood beside us in Afghanistan and show them that we are welcomed here. We are welcomed here by voting yes. They are welcomed here by voting yes for this resolution and demanding that Congress pass the bill. This is by far the most important thing you will ever do for our allies and for America. Thank you, Roger Dickinson, former California State Assembly member, and Zahal Bahardi. I'd like to also just say, I work very closely, with Alejandro Cabrera in my office staff. And he does a lot for our city. He's also a veteran who did 2 tours in Afghanistan. And in his work while he was in Afghanistan, there were many Afghani folks who helped him and other of our Americans out there. And they did everything from public infrastructure, maintenance of our military bases. They ran the trash and public sanitations. They maintained our telecommunication system. They helped all of our different folks here. And now they're in a situation where they need our help. And so this resolution, while I think it's a very small statement of where we are, not only being a city that has a history of welcoming immigrants, refugees, and asylees, and done it by funding the Family Unity and Education Legal Network, and but more importantly, I think making a statement about making sure that those who helped us while our Americans were abroad, and this isn't just the military servicemen, there were civilians that were out there and aid workers who were out there. On behalf to accept this resolution on behalf of the city is Marcus Tang. Marcus, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Councilmember. Good afternoon. My name is Marcus. I'm an immigration attorney at California Rural Legal Assistance Foundation, here on behalf of the Family Unity Education and Legal Network, also known as FUEL. The FUEL Network is a Sacramento City-funded coalition of nonprofits and other community partners dedicated to helping Sacramento residents prevent, prepare for, or defend against deportation. I'm joined here by Omar Altamimi from CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, who is another partner of the FUEL Network. And we have a lot of other folks right now who are joining by Zoom. There's actually also many other organizations that would be here today in person, but we actually have a conflicting Afghan asylum clinic that is actually going on as we speak. And so, over the past year and a half, many of our FUEL Network organizations have been working tirelessly on behalf of Afghan evacuees, and we couldn't be more enthusiastic in our support of the City of Sacramento adopting a resolution calling upon Congress to pass the Afghan Adjustment Act. For 3 main reasons, we believe that it is imperative that the Afghan Adjustment Act pass as soon as possible. First, our community and really our nation does not have the resources to provide timely legal assistance to this enormous group of newcomers. In the Sacramento area alone, we have over 4,332 individuals to serve, and we only have about 10 months until most of these individuals will fall out of lawful status. Second, our asylum system is completely overburdened, and the arrival of over 76,000 asylum seekers has only caused additional straining of the system. While asylum interviews for Afghan evacuees are being prioritized, there have been significant issues with the processing of these applications, including a lack of qualified interpreters for their interviews, as well as delays in receiving notices and decisions. Before the fall of Afghanistan, we had clients waiting 5 or more years for an asylum interview, and in prioritizing the Afghan cases, those that were pending prior to their arrival will only fall further into the backlog. The passage of the Afghan Adjustment Act would provide additional, more streamlined pathways for permanent status for Afghans to free up significant asylum resources. And third, we owe these, as Councilmember Guerra mentioned or explained, we owe these U.S. allies dignified treatment for their unwavering support of our country. For over 20 years, these evacuees and their family members have bravely risked their lives working alongside the U.S. in Afghanistan, and we should facilitate sustainable pathways to permanent safety for them. Our community's grassroots organizations do deeply understand the realities that Afghan evacuees have faced here in the United States. We believe that the Afghan Adjustment Act is the only viable way to ensure that large numbers of our nation's allies do not fall out of legal status or become risk of deportation to a country where they will surely be harmed or killed. The act would also provide for quicker pathways to safety for evacuees' family members who may still be in Afghanistan. We express our sincere support for the draft resolution, our gratitude to Councilmember Guerra and all of those who involved in drafting it, and we encourage the City Council to adopt the resolution today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's not for a vote, in fact. Because it's a resolution, it means that every member has agreed unanimously to sign it and support it. So it was good before it even got here, and important nonetheless. Go ahead. Sean? Yep.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And yes, it's all agreed already. So I wanted to personally thank you for everything you're doing for the Afghan community, because their situation is a little bit different. If you go back to the time where George Bush Jr. decided to kind of invade that country and kind of throw everything on balance. And here we are dealing with individuals that pretty much they wanted to stay in their country, but because of the outside forces, their country got completely destroyed, so their lives became in danger. And as we came out of that country, we saw the kind of mess that we left there. So the Afghan Adjustment Act, I'll be very shocked if it doesn't pass. We owe these wonderful people that much to make sure that we can get them, what they need, protection, and make them feel right at home, because simply we decided to take away their home. So I'm grateful for what you're doing. There's another organization that's going to be coming in. I can't wait until I can introduce you to that same organization so we can do some great things for this community. So I'm grateful for everything that you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I also want to thank Omar here from CARE, who's been a longtime partner with the city of Sacramento and all the work you've done here as well. And just here, I'll come down to present the resolution, but Omar, I don't know if you have any comments to make, and I'll come down as you make them here.
Thank you all. I don't have much. I'm really just here to be, a supporting face and a friend for our network. But I want to thank each of you for kind of passing the bill on this and helping with this resolution. I was actually there. I was lobbying in D.C. early in June. We do it about once a year, and it was before the bill was even introduced. But it was on our plate, and we were following it. And the reason it wasn't introduced was because before introduction, they wanted bipartisan support for the bill. And it's an election year, so all of that work is we really need people to step up and kind of redo that work and call on our legislators for support. It's come a long way, and I really just want to know, kind of as Councilmember Laloui mentioned, a lot of our new Afghan refugees are people who couldn't stay in the country because they were targeted for their support of American forces in their time there. So thank you all for kind of pushing this precedent and setting it for other cities and for other counties to kind of adopt something similar and to really push a united voice upwards. But yeah, thank you all.
I slightly misspoke earlier. We do have one more resolution, and it's an important one, a celebration. I'll turn it over to Councilmember Vang.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe you're also co-sponsoring this
Yes, I
resolution
am.
with me as well. Thank you so much. It's such an honor. This is actually our last city reso for the year of 2022, and it's such an honor for me to be presenting this resolution to the California Karen Youth Connection. I want to take this time to thank CO from the California Karen Youth Commission, their executive committee, community members, really just for the great work that you are all doing in the community. At this time, I actually would like you all to come up to receive the resolution. I just have a few words, but we'd love for CO and the executive committee and all of the folks from the Karen Youth Connection to come up. Don't be shy, come up to the podium. As you know, Mayor, Sacramento's strength is truly our diversity. For those that may not know, the Karen people are an ethnic group of Burma and Myanmar, and many of them immigrated to California starting in the early 2000s as refugees. The Karen people have given so much of themselves to help make California a more vibrant, diverse, and progressive place to be and to live. Today, what we're doing is really uplifting the Karen people, but in particular, we're actually recognizing the Karen New Year. The Karen New Year marks the end of the harvesting season, and it really celebrates the unique cultural heritage. This is an opportunity also really to promote the Karen language, its literature, its traditions, and really it also creates opportunities for others who are not Karen to really enjoy, build a relationship, and learn about this beautiful, resilient community. It is estimated that there's about 1,600 Karen living in California, including right here in Sacramento, Oakland, Manteca, Bakersfield, and San Diego. And while they are a small community, they are an incredibly, like I shared earlier, beautiful, resilient, strong, and vibrant community. This year, on December 22nd, will officially mark the Karen New Year, and actually will also be declared as Karen New Year Day in Sacramento. And so it's just an honor to present this resolution on behalf of the city and to really recognize a small but mighty, incredible group of Indigenous people that's doing everything they can to really uplift their community and the world and this planet. And so just want to say thank you so much for even giving me the opportunity to recognize Karen New Year. And with that, we'd love for you to say a few words, and we'll come down and take a quick photo.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, member of the council, especially Council Member Mai Vance for her extraordinary leadership in taking this initiative and her championship in these resolutions. We had a meeting with her and her staff talking about these resolutions, and thank you so much for all your support in passing the resolution, so I appreciate that. My name is Ko, and I'm with the California Korean Youth Connections. We are an organization to educate and empower the youth and young adults who came to the United States at an early age from Burma as a refugee. Some came as a refugees, some born here who did not know their language, their cultures. So what the organization does is to provide a guidance about our history, our cultures, our politics, our language, like Councilmember Vance mentions, as well as our cultural events. And one of the events coming up is the Korean New Year that will be celebrated in December 30th. Although it is December 22nd is the New Year date, we will celebrate it in December 31st for our celebration. And we invite all of you to come and attend and enjoy the food, enjoy the cultural events as well. And we also want to thank you for providing these resolutions. And this resolution means a lot to us for the Korean people, and especially in Sacramento, the Korean people in Oakland, in Manteca, in Bakersfield, and as well as San Diego. This marks an historical day for our Korean people to thrive and to build a working relationship with you guys, and promoting our Korean people and building a relationship in the future and going forward. So with this resolution, we want to thank you all. And we also invite Sacramento, the people in Sacramento to join us in celebrating Korean New Year and learning about the Korean history, cultivating culture understanding, developing a relationship in the future, and supporting our Korean people in your neighbors as well. And today I'm joined by my colleagues, the chair of the California Korean Youth Connections, as well as Samu. Samu is the Bakersfield Korean representative, and then as well as Danita, who will make a brief remark. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm honored to present our Korean New Year to make the people know in Sacramento. We've been celebrating Korean New Year in Sacramento for the last 4 years. During COVID, we scaled down a little bit, but we still celebrated with all the COVID guidelines. But we celebrate and we feel like we are orphan. Nobody knows us. We just celebrated our community. And we thought, people, if we be part of the Sacramento or the California capital. So yeah, it's good that our secretary made an attempt and reaching out, and thank you for all your consideration, and thank you for your time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am extremely honored, happy, and very excited to be here to celebrate the recognition of Korean New Year Day by the leadership of California. The recognition of the New Year is a great honor for us. We, the Karen people, have been persecuted, but we never fail to celebrate our roots. It is a great opportunity for us to celebrate who we are, and this reminder that we are a part of the United States. We celebrate our culture, and at the same time, we enrich culture diversity in California and in the whole United States of America. One of our main purposes of forming California Korean Youth Connection is to have our Korean people be acknowledged and recognized. And we have been trying the best that we can for almost 10 years. This is the first and happiest achievement so far, as we are allowed to celebrate our New Year Day and keep our own identity as the Korean people. We owe a great deal to the country that we vote to uphold liberty, peace, and prosperity of the country. You can count on us when it comes to cooperation for the betterment of the United States of America. Thank you for your support and understanding. God bless the United States of America.
Good afternoon. I am a board member of the California Korean Youth Connection and a member of the Korean community in Bakersfield. I'm here to express my gratitude, a gratitude that I share with the Korean people in the whole world. It is a very happy afternoon for the Korean people today because one of our most important and celebrated cultural custom is recognized by the city of Sacramento. Our people are most fearful of one thing, and that is of our culture disappearing, especially our language and history. Korean New Year provides an avenue for us to revive cultural appreciation and cultural learning, passing on our culture to our Korean children and youths, many of whom were carried here to freedom and have little to no memories of their Korean homelands and Korean home communities before America, which is currently war-torn and riddled with violent armed conflicts. We hope and have put much efforts into educating our youth and spreading our awareness to fellow Americans about our Korean people and history because we believe and trust in a future in America, a future of America where our youth can have a full grasp of both their American nationality and Korean cultural heritage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Ko, why don't we have everyone come up here? Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you. I mean, I want to thank you for educating us and educating the community. And Councilmember Vang, the same to you, because I admit I'm a love history, but I was not aware of this history, and now I am. And that's a gift not just to me, but to our entire community. Thank you.
If I can add one other thing, Mayor, and that is,
Yeah.
you know, the fact that you're here today, it's an honor, so thank you so much. But what resonates with me being an immigrant, I'm extremely honored and proud that you want to keep the roots and the culture intact, even though the new generation, we're all going to be Americans. So having two kids myself, they're American, but we're still trying to teach them, you know, some of the cultural that we have. So honored to be here, and it's an honor to learn about your culture.
I finally wore some heels the other day, and by the end of the night, I was like, how did I do this before COVID? Yeah, I love them. They're very, I felt the look, yeah. One more.
One more for Asia.
Yeah. Or like that way, this way. I know. That would be a nice little memento to send to people afterwards, you know?
Like at PD graduation,
Yeah.
I have the photographer, and then he posts them online.
Oh, yeah,
People can
perfect.
just go grab them.
These are photos from the council meeting today.
Right? I don't know, it was really fun. I didn't take any pictures. See, you learned something new.
Good thing I Googled it.
Right?
All right, members, thank you so much. Members, as you know, we have gone through and taken action on the Housing Authority calendar. We now move to the consent calendar for the regular meeting, and we've already dispensed, of course, with items 31 and 32 on the discussion calendar. So are there items on the consent calendar that members want to discuss or vote upon separately?
I'll move consent, Mr. Mayor.
Oh,
Councilmember
raised my hand,
Valenzuela did have
sorry.
one. Go.
I was hoping to pull item 15 just for a quick comment and a separate vote.
A separate vote on item 15, okay, and a comment, all right. Any other item, members? Okay, then let's,
I will second what's on
the consent calendar, with the exception of item 15, Councilmember Guerra, is moved and seconded. Is there public testimony, on the consent calendar?
Do not, let me double check.
That's a different item.
I'm sorry. Is there another item that one wants?
Yes.
29 is a consent item.
Yes.
So you want to speak on 29, but not pull it for a separate vote? Okay, so we'll get this all done. Is there public testimony?
I have one speaker online.
Let's hear from the public. Go ahead.
Call-in user 2.
Hello, yes, this is Lambert, and I was calling for number 18. It can be resolved for me because Ash Ragani has sent me several emails about many things. So if he could just send me a copy of the fiscal year 2020-21, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, let us hear, because we're going to take up item 15 separately. So we have a motion and a second on the consent calendar other than 15, but council members Guerra and maybe Lowy want to comment on item 29.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and I want to clarify my motion here as with if Mr. Jennings will agree to the second. Move the consent calendar excluding item 15 with direction on item 29 that staff come back to before March or by March to the Law and Legislation Committee on improving enforcement monitoring and raising and looking at the fees to support the enforcement for vacant lots. So that would add direction to that motion to make sure we get that done. It's a conversation we've had for months already, and I think we're ready to move on that aspect. And I want to thank Councilmember Lowy for working on this issue. Both of our districts have a number of vacant lots. This ordinance change here helps us move that needle, but we still need to work on the enforcement and the monitoring and making sure that we're also capturing all the appropriate fees.
Okay, so that's the direction as part of 29. Councilor Jennings, do you agree to that second?
agree to that, sir.
Any comments from city management on that? Okay. Then let's, then all in favor of the consent calendar as the motion was made, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. The consent calendar passes. Let's go back then to item 15. Councilmember Valenzuela?
Oh, yes. Thank you for allowing a separate vote. I'm going to abstain from this item, and I want to apologize to staff because I think I let drop an item on the law and ledge log around a privacy and surveillance item ordinance. And so I do want, this is a very bright item that includes a lot of things, and I just think it's important that we have some clear policies and practices on privacy and surveillance in place. So I'll just abstain from this item with a request that we continue that conversation when we're able in the new year.
I'll move item 15, Mayor.
Moved and seconded, but for the record, Councilmember Schneer will be added as an aye vote to the previous motion on the consent calendar. All right, let's call the roll then. Can I just say, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Okay. Easier to do. Easier to do, thank you. Yeah, 801. All right, that dispenses with the consent calendar. Let's move to we have item 30 and 33 before we adjourn. Item 30, easement on Rose Street. Who's presenting on this? Okay, I guess the vacation of the easement. Okay, go ahead.
My name is Thomas Adams with the Engineering Service Division of the Department of Public Works. The item before you is a request to vacate a public roadway easement by way of adopting a resolution to vacate Rose Street. Rose Street is located in the north part of Sacramento at Grand Avenue and just west of Rio Linda Boulevard. Rose Street is a single-access, dead-end street, publicly accessible from Grand Avenue. It is adjacent to the Heartland Children and Family Services Resource Facility at 811 Grand Avenue. The property owner of 811 Grand Avenue plans on utilizing the area once vacated as an outdoor play area for the children and families that Heartland Resource Facility serves. The city does not have present or future plans to develop or improve this area of Rose Street. City staff, along with various agencies, support this vacation request. The action recommended with this request is consistent with the Sacramento 2035 General Plan and is in compliance with the California Streets and Highways Code. That concludes my presentation, and staff will be gladly to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very, very much. Which district is this? District 2, Councilman Loloe, any? It's a vote.
It's a public hearing.
It's a public hearing. No. What?
Open and close.
Well, is there public comment?
There is not.
There is not. So, Councilman Loloe, what's your prerogative? Close the
Open and
public
close
hearing.
public hearing.
Open and close the public hearing and move the item. Second by Vice Mayor Pro Tem Guerra. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Oppose, abstain. That passes unanimously. Thank you. Last item.
Thank you.
Of the afternoon is item 33.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is Armando Herrera. I'm the Administrative Analyst for our Human Resources Administration Division. The items in this report pursuant to the Government Code reference must be orally presented. I have a short report to present to you. The top of the city auditor's salary range will be increased to $112.13 an hour, and his salary set at that amount. In addition, the auditor is being granted 217 hours of leave. The top of the Office of Public Safety Accountability Director's salary range will be increased to $108.90 an hour, and her salary is set at that amount. As you will remember, the city is actively performing a citywide classification and compensation study. This change I'm about to read for department heads is the first recommendation we are bringing to you for implementation as a result of the study. We are combining 8 of the department head salary ranges into one range. 2 of the current ranges will remain the same, 2 are being reduced, and 4 are increasing. The salary ranges for each of the following classifications shall be set with the minimum range being $73.84 an hour and the maximum range being $110.76 an hour. Chief Information Officer, Community Development, Convention and Cultural Services, Finance, Human Resources, Youth, Parks and Community Enrichment, Public Works, and Utilities. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I know that is required in detail according to state law, so thank you for doing that. Is there public testimony?
I have no hands raised on this item.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll move the item.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Want me to call the roll, or? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Measure abstention by Councilmember Chenier, so that passes 8-0 with 1 abstention. Thank you.
Thank you.
7-1, excuse me. That's right. All right, members, that concludes the agenda. We do have a closed session at 4 o'clock. do we take council comments or, we do?
And then we
Okay.
have not on agenda too.
Okay,
One.
let's talk we have one speaker for comment on items not on the agenda. Let's hear from that speaker.
Our speaker is James Tan.
Mr. Tan, welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is James Tan. I'm the owner of a property, a duplex at 5790 Tangerine Avenue in Sacramento. We received a notice of alleged violation number 22-043527. And this was dated November the 4th, but I actually received it on the 20th of November because my partner and I, we were traveling. My mother-in-law has passed away. So we received it on the 20th, and immediately we looked for a gardener and arborist to trim and cut the trees on the subject property to remedy the situation. Apparently, there was some vegetation that impedes clearance for pedestrians. But however, due to the Thanksgiving holidays, we were not able to find anybody who can do the work during the week of 21st through the 25th of November. During the week of the 2nd of December 2022, we were able to schedule an arborist to cut the trees and eliminate all the shrubbery that may be an issue. So by the 5th, the work had been completed. However, we didn't understand that within 21 days after the notice dated November the 4th, which is on November the 25th, a fine was imposed on the property. This was done even though we did not receive or read the notice until the 20th of November. And then, much to our surprise, yesterday, actually 2 days ago, on the 11th of December, we received a letter from the Community Development, and this is a notice to order and clean and remove, repair, whatever. And that actually comes with a fee of $575, plus a title fee of $165, et cetera, et cetera. Now, at the same time, a new list was given, which is storage of junk, dangerous, blah, 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 and the landscape issue. On the week of December the 5th, we were at the premises and we did not see the items listed, with the exception of the landscape, which was being cleared at that time. And
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete.
So I want to make sure this is a specific concern. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to meet with the appropriate staff so that we can look into it. It's hard, we can't decide this here, but let's see if we can have you sit down with the right representative of the staff and see if we can understand and work out your concern. Mr. Gesso? Okay. And if you don't get relief, you're welcome to come back and talk to us, okay? There's
Okay.
Mr. Jassa right there who will sit with you and try to work through this, okay? Okay, thank you so much.
I have two more speakers online.
Okay.
Barry Boyd and then call-in user 2, I believe Mr. Lambert.
Thank you and good afternoon to all. I'm calling in to ask, is the city of Sacramento making plans to celebrate Grant High School's Division III state championship won this past Saturday, and having both a proclamation and declaring a Grant High School football team state championship day for Grant High School? Thank you very much.
Go ahead, sorry.
Next
Good.
speaker is Lambert
Oh,
Davis.
Wait, Mr. Laloe, you've had 48 hours here. Come on, man. Let's get it together.
May I?
No, I think it's a great, you were on it and you're going to do it, so.
I know I have
Beautiful.
some of my colleagues ahead of me. If I may make the announcement before Mr. Lambert, I would greatly
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, Mr. Davis is going to say it, but then you'll make it officially.
At least we're on the same page.
Okay.
Very honored. The word honored and privileged just doesn't do it justify to the championship game this past Saturday at Grant High School. What a game, Mr. Mayor. It literally went to the final second. And these young men from Grant High School walked out on the field on offense with merely 30 seconds left. And I stood there and I looked at them and I learned something. And that was, the game is not over. We've been here before. We can cover this. Not one individual was nervous. In fact, one of the teachers walked up to me and she said, "You see those guys out there?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." said, those are my seniors. And we had a conversation this morning. Those seniors are going to win the game. I was like, I hope so, you know, because the time is just not there. And Mr. Mayor, those seniors won the game. It was such a class act. It was unbelievable. I lost my voice. I was at the game with my son. I lost my son, so thank God for security. They were able to connect us. But what a night. The community came together. I went to the visiting site, and they couldn't be more appreciative of the service that they received by Twin River staff. The game was fantastic. We're going to have the football team here right after our break. And then I'll have something special for the senior class of the team and obviously the coaching staff. So my hat is off to the entire Twin River staff, Board of Trustees, principal of Grant High School, all the coaching staff, and of course, these young men that are, it just felt so good watching these guys, knowing that they're going to do something and they got it done, which made me proud knowing that our future, these young individuals, will be able to take care of us when we get old. So, great game, and we're definitely going to have something very special for them right after the break.
I love it. I just love it. It's really inspiring and exciting.
Oh, it was great. And the night before, we had food, so the whole team came to the cafeteria. We spent some time there. And again, class act team, class act coaching staff, very proud. So thank you very much.
Wish I could have been there. I was out of town. It's wonderful. Okay, let's go through the member. Well, you got Mr. Davis. Yeah.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, there's a lot of things going on now, Mayor and City Council. This is the 90th anniversary of Grant High School. And in the middle of this major anniversary, 2 weeks ago, you honored the drum line, you honored the basketball team, and now these youngsters, they had to win on the road. They had to go win at Hughes Stadium. Then they had to go way down to El Cerrito. And then they had to come home under tremendous pressure to win it at home because there was just no room for excuses. That's the thing I like about Del Paso Heights and growing up there. It's a so-called, it's an underserved community, and they're getting a lot of things accomplished. I mean, To the Bay and Back Cheesecakes was founded there. And so when you start looking at what they accomplished last week, more should be done than what I just heard. Things like giving them jobs in the summer, getting tickets to go see the Kings where they won the championship. The drumline shouldn't have any problem getting a budget for travel, food, and lodging because they're going to Europe next year. So keep all of those things in mind because there's some wonderful parents and grandparents that are attached to these young people. And by the way, I found out later that they were promoting To the Bay and Back Cheesecake site, which is linked on Inside Sacramento magazine, which has gone viral. So shout out to the young people. Being a millennial, I don't understand what they did, but apparently it went well at the game as well. So shout out to the Grant Pacers on many levels, but get them some jobs. They need jobs in the summer. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Mayor, I have no more speakers.
Okay, thank you. We do have three council members. We do need to get to closed session. We want to see if we could be timely by 5 o'clock. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Thank you. I'll be very quick. I already emailed this to Mindy. Councilmember Vang and I would like to request that staff bring forward a resolution to expand the practice of raising the pride flag during Pride Month at the pride flag during Pride Month at every city building that has a flagpole.
Oh, yeah. Great idea.
Not my idea. I can't take credit.
Well, whatever. That's great. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two quick items, and then I'll tag on to Councilmember Vang's. I'll just say on the last one. One, I'd like to direct staff to bring back a workshop in Law and Legislation Committee in the early part of the spring on digital flags and the policies and how to move forward on digital flags. such as that you see when you go down Stockton Boulevard. There's, you see those, the cloth flags, but how do we do digital flags? Second, another for staff, for the city manager, direct staff to schedule, again, a workshop in February or late January, preferably on the Law and Ledge Committee here. And I know we're going to adjust those committees as we move forward here, but to look at the appropriate public health agencies when it relates to the public health impacts of cannabis consumption with youth and children. So I want to make sure we're focusing on that in the early part of the year. And then on the last one regarding language access, I'm going to say ditto to what Councilmember Vang's about to say. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Vang.
Thanks, Mayor. Recently in our Budget and Audit Committee, the Language Equity Access Audit Report was presented during our committee, and it actually was approved and will be coming to the full council for consideration. There were actually many recommendations in that report, and I know that our city manager will be developing an internal policy for the language access policy, but as I shared in our Budget and Audit Committee, it's going to be really important to make sure that this council sets the foundation and the direction on really our threshold and what we expect as a city in terms of language access services. And so I'd like to direct staff to work with Mayor Pro Tem's office and my office, the city attorney's office, our city auditor's office, and the city manager to develop a council-led language access policy, and more like a framework or ordinance that will actually complement the report recommendation. And we would actually like this draft framework to be to have it ready before it comes to council for full consideration when the audit comes to the full council, because we want to be able to share that draft framework with our care holders and our language equity access task force that we've been working with. And so wanted to just provide direction here so it's on record with the full council.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. All right, members, we're going to go into closed session and then the swearing in will commence at 5 o'clock. Thank you for anything else, Madam City Attorney?
We won't see you back in chambers.
You won't see us in closed session either. Well, me anyway.
Anyways, we are adjourned.